This is Greg, and I'm going to talk to you about making a jigsaw activity. There we are. I'm sure a number of you have done this before. I've found them to be very effective in developing the reading, speaking, and listening skills, but they have to be prepared properly ahead of time. If you don't, they will be a flop. Now, when we were in the classroom, it would be a simple matter of going to the photocopy machine and making copies for each group, or even taking the scissors and cutting the article into maybe 3 pieces. But now we're online. We can't do that, can we? So we have to think of imaginative ways of dividing things into 3 or 4 or whatever, however many groups you want. Now, in my class last week, we were talking about design, colors and textures and shapes. And one day I showed them these 3 chairs. And so with this little introduction, I asked them, which chair do you think is the oldest, the most recent, which one was most popular, which one do you think looks most comfortable? And that's when I informed them that each of them would be presenting on one of these chairs. Now, the article is on Agora, and that's great, except you don't really want your students to see the whole article. You only want them to see their part. Otherwise, it defeats the purpose of having a jigsaw. So let me just put the article up here. Here's about one of the chairs. Here's about another one of the chairs. And then there's a third section. So I'm sure you have your own way of dividing an article into pieces, but I simply take my mouse and I click right there. I highlight this one page. I then click copy. I then put a WordPad document here. I click paste. Did it work? There it is. Now what you see here is only that one page. And then I go to File. I go to Print. I don't know how much this is showing on the video, but there I see my printer. I scroll down to PDF Creator. I double click, and it makes this document into a PDF. That's annoying. I'm going to turn that off. Cancel that. So I do one PDF for each group, Group A, Group B, Group C. Then you make 3 breakout rooms and you divide the students into 3 groups. At this point, I try to put, if it's possible, we have a lot of Spanish students, so it isn't, but imagine we had some Chinese speakers, some Portuguese speakers, and some Spanish speakers. I try to put them in their language groups because later we're going to mix up the languages. But for now, I put them into each group. And when I visit the breakout room, I then show them their article, and I either upload it to the chat, or I just put it on my screen and make it a little smaller, and I ask them to take a screenshot. They're then asked to read the article several times and get the gist of what it's about. Now that's the reading part of it. They have to speak as well. They have to present what they see. So I made this document. I also have them take a screenshot of this. It says talk about, and it says, well, your 5 Ws. When was the chair designed? Who designed it? Why was it designed? What? And any some of the features that we discussed in previous lessons, shape and materials and so forth. And I tell them they need to talk about their chair for 1 to 2 minutes. It sounds a lot like the IELTS presentation, which I have in mind. So that way, I use this so the students don't read directly from the article, because that's a very tempting thing to do. And I tell them to please practice in their group speaking for 1 to 2 minutes about their chair. Oh, maybe I should have mentioned earlier that I already modeled how to do this, because I have found my own chair, this classic barber's chair, and I just do a little an example presentation about when it was designed and which companies and the different features of the barber chair. And then I say, this is what I want you to do for your chair. Then we have the students come back to the main room. I then form them into groups of 3, student A, student B, student C in each group. And I tell them they need to speak and listen to the presentations. And there's your listening skill. Afterwards, we follow it up with a discussion about which chair would be, I say, suppose it's your father's birthday, which one would you like to present him as a gift? Or perhaps you just started your own business. What would you like your office decor to have? Which chair? And that always gets them talking. So thank you very much. That's how I do an online jigsaw, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you have to teach me about. Thank you very much.